Rattler Vlog episode 33 is live right now. Hey guys, Kim Johnston here. Thanks for hanging out tonight. Originally, I had said no Rattler Vlog tonight, but plans have changed. Actually, I screwed up. Can't blame it on anyone but me. And so, without further ado, let's get tonight's guest on. It's been a while, but let's reconnect with number 13, Tim Ireland. Haha, there he is.
Hey,
How you doing?
doing not bad yourself?
Really good, really good. Tim, where are you at right now? Give us a little update as to what kind of day you've had so far.
Yeah, so I'm just out here in Calgary now. Ended up coming to Alberta, I guess, to Medhat from Winnipeg back in the day, and I ended up finding my way back to Alberta. So I'm just living here in Calgary near Mount Royal University. Actually, today's just same old thing. Still doing school, so
Yep.
still studying when I can, going out when I can.
You know, Tim, so when Patrick let me know who was coming on tonight, and he said Tim Ireland from the U of A, and he's just finishing up his physiotherapy program, and my response is, what? That guy is still in school? What is going on?
Yeah, never any professional. I thought I was gonna be when I was younger. I thought I'd be a professional basketball player, but looks like I'm a professional student instead. So
So talk about your learning and your student journey, and some of the life lessons that you've learned as a result of the past 7-8 years.
yeah, well, a lot of them kind of have their roots in Medicine Hat. Funny enough, I mean, when I went there right out of high school, thinking back, like, I mean, now I'm 25, but then I guess I was just like an 18-year-old kid. You move to the residency, and all of a sudden you're living alone. You're the only one responsible for your own going to class on time, going to practice on time, that kind of thing. And Medicine Hat had like the best student residence out of all the schools I've heard of. Like, you get a whole house with you and your buddies, so it's pretty great at the time. But yeah, it really taught me a lot growing up. Just have that immediate from high school to being on your own. You really have no one else to blame if you don't show up to class and don't study. There's no one else to blame besides yourself. And after doing that, I finished my undergrad at University of Winnipeg, and it was kind of smooth sailing because I was still living at home for a bit, so I got meals again and stuff like that. So yeah, just like that kind of independence, I guess you get, being able to. I guess to summarize, just being able to be accountable for all your own actions really carries you really far for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you know what? I mean, I've heard a lot of great things about Medicine at College, but I've never heard the thing about the residence. So tell me a little bit more about that. Like, how great is it to have the style of accommodation that they have here?
Well, yeah, I don't know what it's like nowadays, but back when I was there, I guess, in like 2013, 2014, everyone was in like the other, like across from the Happy College, you have your own little village there of all the different little houses, but you live with like 3-4 of your buddies. You got basement, main floor, your room's upstairs. Like, it's a pretty crazy setup for like just like residence houses. Usually universities have like crappy little apartment buildings that are run down, but these places were like really nice. And there was like quiet res where you're supposed to be like quiet after 10 p.m. My parents made me go in quiet res, but it wasn't really that quiet. Like, and there's all your buddies around, so in the evenings it's always fun to go hang out with some friends, see who's out and about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me about the craziest college party that you ever saw here.
Oh, craziest college party. Oh man, well, I'll tell you a story that I heard when I was there of the craziest party. That way it's like a standard deviation away from me being affiliated with anything,
That's right. Distance yourself a little bit. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I don't know the ins and outs of it, but just the Spark Notes version of it, I heard, like, 'cause the basements of the res were like pretty much all like cement, like pretty much indestructible. And I heard some people had gone and got a bunch of sand and like dumped it all in their basement and made like a beach theme party, but like in their house. Which when you're 18, you're like, wow, that's awesome. Why would you not? Like, that's so sick. Of course. And now as an adult, I'm like, wow, like the money they must have had to pay to like, how do you even get that sand out of there? Like, it's sand. But though I assume someone has better stories than me, but that's one of the ones I heard that I was like, I can't top that.
All right, someone said Cunningham 5 says Halloween. tell the Halloween story. Is that a story? Does that ring a bell?
Oh man, Halloween. No, I don't. I don't recall too much of Halloween. Everyone probably had good costumes and stuff.
Yeah,
Just probably typical kind of things. But
it's all good. So, Tim, tell me how, over the past few months, how has COVID thrown a complete wrench in your life, or has it?
yeah, no, for sure. I mean, in November. I'm graduating from the physiotherapy program at the U of A here. And it changed up quite a bit because like one day you're going to class, taking transit, going to school, and then the next day, there was like the NBA was canceled, and then it was like everything after that like was like shut down. So now all of a sudden you're like, oh, everything's online. How am I gonna? My biggest concern was just how I'm gonna graduate on time because obviously you're your life's kind of planned accordingly with certain kind of like government loans and things like that. You're like, oh man, is this gonna like really throw me for a huge loop right now? But so my biggest thing was just having to. Then our program put everything online, fortunately enough, and the U of A adapted really well to it. So didn't end up being that big of a deal, but it really sucked being in my apartment for like 4 months, and I'm like one of those immunocompromised people, so I really had to be careful. So I just kind of went a little stir crazy for a bit, but
Um,
things are good now.
is it Crohn's and colitis? Is that right?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I have ulcerative colitis, and that ended up putting me in the I don't know. My doctor said the yellow for. He said you probably won't get sick, but if you did get sick, call me. It wouldn't be that good. So,
Okay. So,
whatever that means.
so when did you get that diagnosis?
Uh, I guess in around 2016. I guess a year and a half
Wow.
after I left Medicine Hat. I think I had a lot of stuff going on at Medicine Hat, but I just didn't really recognize it. It kind of comes on slowly, kind of thing.
Hmm.
But looking back, there was definitely some just like a lot of fatigue, a lot of stuff like that going on.
Got you. Got you. Now, Tim, one of your career goals, I understand, is to work with those that have sustained neurological damage, either by disease or injury. Now, I realize that you're not a doctor yet, but I need your help. Can you help me?
Oh shit! Of course, easy.
Okay, so here,
Just like that. Just like
so
that.
here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Last year, I had double jaw surgery.
Okay.
So basically, they cut out my top jaw. They took a strip of bone out of the bottom, and it's all bolted together and everything. And it's just like you look at an X-ray,
Wow.
and it looks crazy. So many
Yeah,
screws
yeah,
and bolts and plates and everything
yeah.
else. But I have lost all the feeling on my bottom lip in this area right here. I got nothing there. Is
Nothing
is
there.
there any way to get that back?
Is there any way to get that back? You'd have to go to some kind of certain like oral specialist for that. But nerves do grow back. Those are your peripheral nerves. They grow slow, but they do grow back. And maybe there's a will, there's a way.
Okay.
You could have talked about some kind of like early, slowly sensitization treatment. I know we do when people have like loose sensation in certain areas of their body. You can slowly reintroduce different like rub different kind of fabrics and materials and grades on their skin to kind of slowly start to re-stimulate it. So you kind of just would have to, maybe the best bet would be find slowly ramp up progressive stimuli to your lip to try and re-stimulate those cells in there, and maybe the nerves go back. But that's a question for someone far beyond my years.
Really? Okay, so I've got a maxillofacial surgeon. That wouldn't be his deal, would it? Or like what kind of doctor would I go to?
What kind of doctor you would go to? Well, maybe maybe a physiatrist. That's kind of like a doctor of. It's kind of like a doctor of the physiatry. It's kind of like a doctor of like the spine. It's kind of like a physio, but like through med school. So like they can do a lot more with like prescriptions and do a lot about like spinal cord nerve stuffs.
Okay.
But I would definitely start with that, and then they could recommend you to whoever else they would know. But
There you go.
ask your doctor to see a physiatrist.
Well, that's good. How much do you charge for that advice, by the way?
Man, $1,000 a minute.
Oh my God.
That's not. Yeah, I've been in school too long to give this stuff out for free.
Exactly. So, okay, so on a related note, what are you hearing about Elon Musk's Neuralink and the ability to repair connections, if you will? And what are some of the things that you think might be possible down the road in what you're learning and what you're studying?
With Elon Musk Neuralink, I'm not super well versed in what that is, but can you give me a quick spark notes on what he's talking about with that?
Implant in the brain. and
Oh, yeah.
repairing connections to nerves and helping people with all kinds of different things like Parkinson's and like just a
Wow.
variety of different things.
Whenever you hear things like that out there, it sounds like a pipe dream, and that's probably because it is a pipe dream. Like we're still learning. It's very like just the cusp of like how the brain even works and how like our brain processes anything. So that kind of thing sounds like an Elon Musk kind of thing, like crazy guys. Maybe if it goes on in space, it'd be illegal, but
Yep.
I don't think anytime soon anything like that'll be happening.
In fact, he says in a recent interview, he said that theoretically it is possible to, like, instead of listening to music through headphones, input it directly into your brain and just listen to a song in your brain.
That would be the worst. That's already like that song Watermelon from Harry Styles in my brain currently. I can't even get it out of there. I would pay money to get that song out of my head. They should have the reverse. So you come home, oh, 1 second, I gotta go to the song, like, do you get that shit out of my head?
Pull this implant,
Machine.
get this thing out of here. Seriously.
Yeah.
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 All right. Tell me a weird fact about the human body that you've discovered that blew your mind when you found out. Just something really unbelievable.
Well, something unbelievable. Yeah, right. There's so we often talk. Oh man, that's a hard one. How am I gonna bring that down for you guys? Yeah. All right. So something we talk about now that something I learned that I thought was unbelievable was so you have your muscles that attach to tendons that attach to bone, and the tissue that wraps around your muscles is called your fascia. You call your myofascia your muscle fascia. It's almost like saran wrap that if you were to wrap around your arm, it keeps so all your muscles can stay individual and slide amongst themselves, or it also connects all your guts and everything. It's like the kind of saran wrap that connects your body, so your guts aren't just like floating all over the place, right? And before we didn't know anything about it, but now we're learning that all this kind of stuff that is like this saran wrap that holds your body together, that's everywhere, actually in itself has its own like transports, plays a role in your immune system. It plays a role and it can contract on its own individually. It can just become like tight, taut, and there's like nerve cells in it too. Like your lower back, the fascia in your lower back has a extremely high concentration of these nerve endings just in the fascia. So you're not talking muscles. I'm not talking it's like in any kind of bone or anything. This is just like kind of in this tissue that we previously had totally disregarded, and now they're considering fascia almost as an organ of itself. So just like imagine discovering a whole new organ of your body that's everywhere that everyone just discounted before. If you ever look at a dissection or something,
Yep.
if you ever look at a dissection or something, it's already been burned off or ripped away. But Google myofascia. A good YouTube video is Strolling Under the Skin, and it's a video of a Spanish surgeon who recorded all his videos of how he's like dealing with doing surgery on tendons and different fascial things. So I found that interesting. I don't know. It's kind of super nerdy and geeky, but
It's incredibly
that's
nerdy.
what I had on the,
Okay.
that's what I had on the top of my head.
Okay. So on that note, and I'm sure it would totally creep me out, but do you work on cadavers like in class? Is that something that you have and everybody's got a body in front of them and you're like working on them?
Oh, I wish, I guess. No, that was only so in the first month of our program back a couple years ago in August. We have a whole month that every day you're just in the cadaver lab with different various cadavers. Really, yeah, like only 4 months old. So a lot of people who donate their bodies to that kind of research and that kind of like utilization after.
Mm-hmm.
U of A certainly is really appreciative of it, and there's a big. It's cool because they're during that month, like the med students, the physio students, all do their dissections, learn a ton, and then at the end of the year they have like a funeral you can go to kind of like say thanks for people who like would donate their bodies to like that kind of learning.
Whoa,
so,
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's fortunate, cool.
Do you get nightmares that night?
Originally, I guess the first month was kind of weird. That was that summer back a couple like 2 years ago when it was just so much bad forest fires too. So it was just like a weird kind of purge vibe. There's just like smoke everywhere, and you're just in a cadaver lab. Weird stuff. Yeah, definitely some tough sleeps.
All right, so kind of a personal question, and you can respond by saying next question, and I'll move right on. No big deal. But after all these years, what kind of student loan hole is that? And do you think that that is something that we as a country should address? You know what I mean? Like, are you, when
Yeah,
you get
yeah.
out, are you facing just this mountain that you're going to have to climb in that regard?
Yeah, yeah, no, I can talk about that. That's fine. That's good. People see that's the problem. People should talk about that a lot more. Like
Hmm.
it's only the only people it helps when you don't talk about debt or loans or things from like borrowing money from the government or anything like that. It just helps them keep money so people don't know what's happening.
Yep.
But yeah, so I mean, I've been in school for 7 years now, straight right out of high school, and I'm probably gonna be about like 60 to 70 grand in the hole, but that's nothing compared to the States. But that's no comparison.
Yep.
So yeah, so I mean, when you apply for loans, you get loans from the federal government, the provincial government, and I took out a student line of credit too because I kind of just do it all on my own with that in that sense. But I think there should be more. I think there's definitely a mismatch where an undergrad degree isn't really worth anything, in my opinion, anymore. It seems like just a big hoop you got to jump through to go do something else you want to do.
Hmm.
Like if I wasn't doing a master's, I would have totally gone and done like electrical or plumbing or something, because to pay so much, like an undergrad degree typically costs 40 grand. And to do that, just so you have to do something else, seems like it should be subsidized far more than what we're putting like these future generations of students, and especially the budget cuts that are still happening, especially in Alberta right now, like for institutions and students, that 7% wage, 7% tuition increase a year is going to be brutal for people's
Yep.
like future and trying to get a head start. So I'm really against that, and government should definitely put more money into taking out some of those barriers for people who really need it,
Yep.
and it won't be accessible otherwise.
Do you even have time on your schedule for like a little part-time job? Is that even
Yeah,
possible?
yeah. Yeah, I work part time once or twice a week doing like respite.
Okay.
With a couple individuals who have spinal cord injuries. I go and just help them out with a different kind of
Yep.
basic physio stuff. But,
Could you imagine who's that guy with the Kansas City Chiefs, the Canadian, the doctor from Quebec? Could
oh
you
no,
imagine?
I
Could you imagine that being an NFL player and becoming a doctor at the same time? Like,
yeah no,
unbelievable.
no, that would be too much.
Oh my God.
Someone will do it one day, but it won't be soon.
Yeah.
Won't be me.
All right, so we got Tim Ireland here. By the way, number 13 men's basketball for only one season, but whenever we talk to any of his teammates, they say, wow, now there's a guy that made an immediate impact, got major minutes in his rookie year, which nearly never happened. So last night, we talked to one of the all-time great Medicine College Rattler basketball players, Michael Faria. And
Oh man, yeah, the king.
and it blew me away when I asked him this question. I asked him, as a fan, what is your coolest sports experience that you've ever been there for as a fan? And you know what he said? He said, I've never been to a professional sports game of any kind. In fact, I said, well, you're from Saskatoon. Then, like, is the ultimate thing you've ever been to like a Saskatoon Blades game? He said, no, I don't even think I've been to a high level amateur game at all. He said, literally, the only thing I've ever seen is the basketball that I played in the games that I was in. I
Yeah, cool, cool.
Amazing.
That's wild. Yeah,
Amazing. So, same question for
cool.
you. Coolest sports fan experience that you've ever had?
Coolest sports fan. Well, I mean, I wish there was an NBA team in Winnipeg growing up, but probably the coolest sports fan experience is when me, another Rattler alum, Ryan Cunningham, and my older brother would do a road trip down to Minnesota because it's pretty close to Winnipeg, and then we went to see the Timberwolves play, and Andrew Wiggins was on the team at that time, and we bought like nosebleed tickets like way back, but because no one goes to Timberwolves games, we just walked right to like courtside almost because like no one was even there. And it was kind of cool seeing like Andrew Wiggins like really up close, because back when I was younger, he was in like high school and social media was pretty big still then. So you see these guys play ball since they're like in junior high, elementary school, and now you're seeing them in real life in the NBA. It was just crazy to see the level and the athleticism in person, because seeing basketball live at the NBA level is just nothing on this planet the same to watching on TV. Everyone's rebounding elbows above the rim. Anyone can hit any shot. So that was a cool experience for me, and that was my only NBA game. So I guess I'd have to say that.
Who are they playing?
They were playing the Phoenix Suns.
So not
The
much,
Phoenix
not much
Suns.
of a game, but I mean, still.
No, no, but I don't. I'm easy. I'm easy. I'm easy. I was just happy to be there. Had a hot dog, had a beer. I was like Andrew Wiggins. What more do you want? Like,
Very cool. Very cool. So, what was your experience as a Rattler like looking back now? And I mean, by the sounds of it, you're very fond of your time in Medicine at College, but starting with the coaches and then some of the teammates, just kind of explain that era of your life.
yeah, yeah, very, very interesting era. A lot of firsts, like you kind of touched on before. When I came in there, I was like I got on the team as I went to the ID camp, and I was just like, hey, I'd like to kind of play here. Showed up as a nobody. They ended up getting on the team, and then ended up starting for like the whole season and playing like a pretty major role. It's kind of just like a hustle guy,
Hmm.
but I found a place for me that fit, and I thought that was like pretty special. I definitely didn't take that for granted. Yeah, for coaching, I mean, like I think Rich Humphreys still is coaching to this day. Him and Craig Price was the other coach, but and Pat was on the bench a lot with us too, and he was a really great guy. But I really think I gelled well with Coach Rich's kind of philosophy. He was I was kind of a hustle player, and he kind of was a coach who was really good at coaching that kind of player. So I feel like he really saw what I was doing and really rewarded it in a way that I appreciated. And as far as teammates, I think I had a great team, great group of guys. I met some of my best friends there that first year. Like guys like Mike Ferry and stuff was like, I don't know, he's like one of the best leaders I've ever had on my basketball team before. And he was just like one of the most talented players I've ever played with too, as well. And we had a whole whack of guys like Brandon Carl was a super good guard. Ryan Cunningham was another really good leader. Really kind of took me under his wing for that first year. I mean, you're living away from home, playing on this team. A lot of firsts, a lot of scary stuff, but they kind of pulled me in and helped give me the confidence to kind of go out and perform at a level that I wasn't always used to. So
Very cool.
yeah,
Very cool. Once again, guys, Tim Ireland joining us on the broadcast tonight. We'd be remiss if we didn't mention that you're actually quite involved in Special Olympics, if I'm not mistaken. Can you tell me a little bit about what Special Olympics means to you?
yeah, sure. So when I was in Winnipeg, I was involved in the Special Olympics for about 5 or 6 years. I was coaching actually a swim team, Special Olympics swim team, and we go through few swim tournaments a year, and went to the Canada Manitoba Summer Games in Brandon one year, and it was just really a good community, good atmosphere, and I love sport in general. I think sport teaches you a lot of good life skills and characteristics, and Special Olympics is really just kind of exemplifies all of the things I love about sport the most. Everyone's out competing as hard as they can. There's a lot of really amazing athletes. Like I wasn't really a very talented swimmer. I was at the Y one day playing basketball, and then there was the swim team was practicing, and one of the coaches was like, I was just like checking it out, waiting for the pool to open up. And he's like, oh, like you could join in and help coach if you want. And then 6 years later, I was still kind of caught up doing it. But yeah, I just love sport. I love what it brought out in people. It brought out a side of me that I really like to kind of instill the kind of person I want to be. And sport's all about like wholesome competition, trying to be your best, becoming a better person. And nothing exemplifies that better than Special Olympics, in my opinion. So
Exactly. So good. Awesome. Awesome. All right, Tim. We don't want to take up too much more of your time here, but we always do a show and tell segment. So, without further ado, Tim
yeah,
Ireland
sure.
and show and tell. What do you have for us?
All right. Yeah. So actually, I brought something I just picked up the other day from a gas station. It's a little cactus light. Check that out. 50 cents. 50
What
cents.
a
Check them out
deal.
if you're. It's what a deal. I got that. I got a couple things. I brought my first cell phone I had from when I was at Medicine Hat. I'm not old, but like this kind of was funny. It was on my desk because you get a new phone, your old phone, you just keep it around.
Sure.
So this is my old cell phone. It was a
Oh.
baby blue little iPhone for like a little baby kid.
You could have picked the
That was
black
me.
one. You could have picked the white one, but you chose the
No, this
baby
was this
blue.
was the cheap one. This was the cheap
Yep.
one. So that's good. And those are my two show and tell items I had on hand.
Awesome. So good. All right. Once again, Tim, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. I need you to give me a recommendation as to who we should get on the Rattler vlog in a future episode. It could be a former teammate. It could be one of the girls from volleyball or basketball on the other side there. When you played here, literally
Mhm.
anybody with any connection to the Rattlers. Who do you suggest?
To the anybody with any do yeah a gentleman by the name of Brett Grzkowski.
Brett,
He played on the golf
yes.
team. He played on the golf team at Medicine. I can DM you his profile if you want.
Okay, please do
Played on
that.
the
But
golf team and met at local, so that'd be cool.
I'm not sure we've
Switch.
even had anybody from the Rattler golf team on the vlog.
Yeah,
So
you guys have had so many basketball players. I figured I gotta switch it up. Can't
we,
just be basketball all the time.
yeah, we got to get on that. All right, Tim. All the best. Have a great summer. Congratulations on your education, and you're almost done. We can't wait to see
Yeah,
where your career goes, and we're just really, really proud to have called you a Rattler.
yeah. Proud to be a Rattler forever.
All right,
Thanks so much for having me. Have a good night.
take care. All right, there he
Yeah,
goes.
bye.
Once again, Tim Ireland joining us on the Rattler vlog. Great guy and just a lot of great stories to tell. All right, that's it for this week on the Rattler vlog. Thanks for hanging out here. It's always a lot of fun. I really enjoy doing this. And if we can get you on an upcoming edition, feel free to reach out to Patrick or Terry or anybody with the organization. We'll get you on here. We'd love to just have a great little visit with you and find out where you're at and what you're doing these days. On behalf of Tim Ireland, have a great night, and we'll see you next time.